breaking news. Suspect has been arrested. Folks, come on in. Person of interest taken into custody. Altoona, Pennsylvania, in the Pennsylvania mountains. A little outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, folks. Suspect apparently went into McDonald's and people recognize the individual, and we're trying to get some details right now of what's going on in real time. So let's talk. Come on in, folks. Continuous coverage of the Unitedhealthcare CEO murder of Brian Thompson happened on the 4th. We are in what is it, day five, and it looks like they have a guy. They have a guy in custody. So come on in. A lot of people pile into the chat. We've been covering this case extensively. It broke probably about 30 minutes ago. So we're a little late. We're a little late to the party. We've been covering the latest with Jay-Z and P. Diddy, but we're going to talk about what we know so far. I got some information. So, and we're also going to get Magnolia in the chat and talk about this as it's going down. I'm sure while we're on, we're going to hear some new information, right? We're going to hear some new information. So basically the information that is coming out, according to Fox News. Fox News has put out a source with knowledge of the investigation into the murder of Unitedhealthcare CEO Brian Thompson told Fox News that a person fitting the suspect's description has been taken into custody at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Now, I looked on the map in Pennsylvania. There are actually 2 McDonald's in Altoona. We'll show you that on the map very shortly. The reason why I think it's the guy is there's numerous reasons why I think they have the guy. The person has a similar gun to the one used in the shooting last Wednesday. So this person has a gun on them. The same gun similar to what was used in the shooting. That's red flags right across the board right there. Altoona is a city located 100 miles east of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thompson died last Wednesday after being shot outside the hotel. We know that. Hilton Hotel, he was shot. The suspect fled on a Greyhound. And I actually looked on Greyhound's bus schedule, and there is Greyhound that eventually takes you to Pittsburgh and then eventually takes you to Altoona. So, do they have the guy? Now, we have some new information that they are revealing about this guy, this suspect that was taken into custody. And I want to get this right here, specifically, some information. Okay, according to a reporter named Guy Benson, we're going to put this information out there for you to see. A person was nabbed Monday in the fatal shooting of Unitedhealthcare CEO Brian Thompson, possibly busted trying to use a fake ID in a McDonald's, law enforcement say. So basically they're saying that the person at the McDonald's had a gun, a silencer, 4 fake IDs, and other items consistent with what authorities were looking for in the case, according to sources. So basically if that's true, they have the guy. If that's true, they have the guy, because, you know, I could say maybe a gun, but having a gun on someone in a McDonald's is not very known. I mean, who has a VP9 type of gun? There's conflicting information about what the gun was used. But who would have a similar gun as a similarly looking person going into a McDonald's in Altoona and possibly having fake IDs on the individual? Right there, red flags all across the board. Probably the guy. When they say person of interest, I would think they got the guy, right? They're also saying that he had a manifesto on him. So that is interesting too. When he was taken into custody, he had a manifesto. Come on, folks. Unabomber, manifesto. This is probably the guy. If the guy had a manifesto, if the guy had a gun on him, if the guy had fake IDs on him, going into McDonald's, and also probably the way it seems like it went down, the way I'm reading it, and we're trying to gather information. This is all fluid. People recognized him as looking like the suspect. Let's play this report right here, and then we're going to get Magnolia in the chat, and we'll continue this conversation. So Fox News is reporting this right here. Here we go.
Well, we never know exactly exactly how quickly these things are going to move. All morning I've been in Central Park as these dive teams have been doing everything they can to find what I was told was the weapon because they couldn't track it down. Now investigators and NYPD police sources here is telling Fox News that they believe they found a man who matches that same description of the gunman who killed that CEO in Midtown Manhattan. They found him at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Okay, that's like a 5-hour drive from where we are right now. We knew that the person of interest had possibly hopped on a bus and fled town. Now we're being told they believe they have that person of interest in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So we kind of talked about this earlier when I checked in with you. Person of interest, suspect, they're keeping it at person of interest right now, and they're just saying he matches the description. But not only does he match the description for people watching at home, he also, according to investigative sources who are telling Fox News, he had the weapon they believe was used in this murder in his pocket. So this is what happens, I'm told, from police, and it's still developing, but this person's at this McDonald's in Altoona. We've been putting these pictures out all across the country because it's been a nationwide manhunt. So they've been asking people, do you recognize this man in the photo? We want to talk to him. We think he was linked to this ongoing investigation. Well, somebody, Harris, said that McDonald's in Pennsylvania recognized him, called it into local police, and here we are right now. So if this ends up panning out and they are going to question this guy in Pennsylvania, we could have a huge break in this case.
All right. So, yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Let's get Magnolia in the chat, and I'm going to show you some maps and everything like that while we talk. Having the gun on him, you know, for days they were searching around in Central Park where that backpack was left in, searching the water there, the ponds and the lakes and the waterways, looking for that potential weapon. Lo and behold, it's possible that the suspect who got arrested, the person of interest today at the McDonald's, had the gun on him. Maybe a different gun, similar gun. Is this real or not, Magnolia? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird to me. Why are they saying he was using a fake ID at McDonald's?
Yeah,
what
because
is that?
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not like McDonald's sells alcohol or tobacco products, which requires someone to show an ID. Why would you? Do you need an ID to buy a Big Mac? A McChicken?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand what that means. But you know, I'm trying to. Let me think. What if he? Okay. I'm trying to think of an instance you would need an ID at McDonald's. Like, what if he did like a phone ahead or like an order ahead and he came to pick up his order and they asked for his ID or something like that?
That's a good one, Magnolia. Actually, that is possible because they're not just going to give food products, and you do this all the time. You go anywhere, Uber, you order and you go pick it up yourself. Yeah, they do sometimes require you to have ID to show that you're the person picking up the food.
Yeah.
That's a great point. That I never even thought about that, Magnolia.
Well, yeah, I mean, or, you know, like an Uber driver might have to come in when they're picking up the order and show like a receipt or something. I don't know. But that,
or Magnolia
Ashley said maybe he's trying to get a job.
Or maybe the story is kind of clouded right now. Maybe when police approached him, and the police asked him for some ID, he provided the law enforcement with the fake ID.
Right. Yeah.
That could be it too, because they're saying that someone recognized him at the McDonald's coming in, and then probably called the cops. Cops come in, sir, can we see some ID? He tries to provide a fake ID. He had multiple IDs on him.
Okay, here, look, I have some more info. Okay, so from Fox News, they say this is what happened. A source with knowledge of the investigation told Fox News that a person fitting the suspect's description had been taken into custody at McDonald's in Altoona. The person has a similar gun to the one used in the shooting. Police tell Fox News that a person at the McDonald's recognized the individual from the wanted posters of the suspect and then alerted law enforcement. When police arrived, they spotted the person and found a weapon believed to be the one used in the murder in his pocket, along with a fake ID, according to police.
Cooked. So, it's him. He's cooked.
So he had the fake ID in his pocket. So they're saying, Also, I saw another article, I think from the Post, the New York Post. They said he had 4 fake IDs.
So why Altoona? Why Altoona? And I'm getting Altoona on the map so I can just show everybody where Altoona is. We're going to show this on the map. Why Altoona? It doesn't look like he went back to Atlanta. He might not have came from Atlanta. Be honest.
Yeah.
The way I was talking to you last night, Magnolia, where they were saying U.S. Marshals were scrambling all along the bus route, and police were starting in Atlanta, but they were going to each bus station to try to pinpoint where this guy came from, not saying for a fact that he came from Atlanta. He just rode that bus coming in, so they were checking the routes. So they really had no idea, maybe they did, but had no idea like where he started from this journey. But this journey, Altoona, takes you way far away than Atlanta. Here's the map. So what is he doing in central Pennsylvania?
Altoona is due west of New York City by about 3 hours.
But guess what, Magnolia? I looked on the Greyhound bus station. If you want to go to Altoona from New York, there is a bus that takes you from the GW Bridge where he was at, but that's an 8 p.m. bus. So I don't know, but there's other subsequent buses that goes from New York to Newark to Pittsburgh to Altoona. You can get to Altoona via Greyhound. And that's probably the most logical way you got there, because it's not like you have mass transit that goes from New York like via train, unless, I don't know. I'm thinking Greyhound.
Yeah, so the other thing though, so I lived in Pennsylvania. I used to live pretty close to Altoona. I lived over in Clarion, which is like north of Pittsburgh. I lived there for about 4 years, and it's very common from that part of the state. There's tons of buses that go back and forth to New York all the time. And there's tourist buses. There's all types of different buses. I've taken multiple tourist buses to New York, where they have day trips. People will go for a day trip to sightsee, and there's usually an itinerary of things you do in New York. So there's constantly buses like that. And so it could have been something along those lines. It's very common for people to go back and forth to New York City from Altoona. It happens every day. Hundreds of people every day probably do that. So I don't think he would have had to really scrounge around to find a bus. I think he would easily find a bus route.
Okay, so here's some information CNN is now putting out. So Fox seems like they broke this, right? Fox News breaking the story. That's the way it seems like the Fox News has broke this story. Okay, so here's a description. Here's what's according to CNN, and I'm going to play the clip. Well, what they're saying is incredible details on the 26-year-old being questioned by Altoona police in connection with the murder of the Unitedhealthcare CEO, a gun similar to the one used last week, a suppressor, and a slew of fake IDs. According to John Miller, CNN, this starts at a very routine day in McDonald's in Altoona, PA, which has 3 McDonald's. But an employee there looks at a person and has been seeing on CNN everywhere else these photos from NYPD of this masked person with a hood wearing, they're saying, looks beyond New York because we think the person has left the city. And she believes that this person resembles the photo that had been put out. She calls 911, gets the Altoona police. They respond to the McDonald's. They engage this individual, and as they get him to identify himself and look through things, they find a gun, they find a silencer, they find multiple false IDs, and when they begin to compare these notes with police in New York, they find out one of those IDs matches the name, perhaps even the one we're looking at that was used, that he used a fake ID to check into the hostel. He's cooked. So along with all of that, there are some documents that the police said seem to be relevant to this case. I think we would stop short right now because we don't have enough information of calling that a manifesto. But we are told by investigators they believe he's carrying documents that may be related to motive. There you go. Let's listen real quick.
There is someone that is being questioned by investigators right now in Altoona, Pennsylvania. This person is 26 years old, according to sources telling John Miller. We've learned that they actually got a tip from someone at a nearby McDonald's in that area who said, hey, this guy looks like the person that's in all those photos that have been circulating. And that's how he was brought in for further questioning. And in doing so, according to sources telling John, that they found a lot of evidence that could point in the right investigation for authorities at this point. They found a gun that resembles the one that was used in the murder last Wednesday. They found a suppressor, which is basically another word for a silencer. It muffles the sound of a gunshot. We know that was also used in the killing on Wednesday. And they found a number of fake IDs with this person. One of those, according to sources, the NYPD does believe was used here in New York City. Now, also, if you remember, we reported that investigators believed their person who was responsible for this killing used a fake ID to check into a hostel in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. So it's possible that is one of those fake IDs. We've also learned from sources that there were some sort of documents that were with this person that is, again, brought in for questioning at this moment. And they're still going through all of those paperwork to figure out exactly what is said in those documents. But again, these are significant developments in this case, in this manhunt that has stretched far past New York City limits. And now we know that someone is in custody. Someone is being questioned with authorities right now in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and John, let's go to you. You have so much of this excellent reporting. Add to the color and the context and the information that Bryn just started to give us.
So, Dana, this starts as a very routine day in a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, which has like 3 McDonald's. But an employee there looks at this person and has been seeing on CNN and everywhere else these photos from the NYPD of this masked person with the hood where they're saying, look beyond New York, because we think the person has left the city. And she believes that this person resembles the photos that have been put out. She calls 911, gets the Altoona PD. They respond to the McDonald's. They engage this individual. And as they get him to identify himself and look through things, they find a gun, they find a silencer, they find multiple false IDs. And when they begin to compare those notes with the police in New York, they find out that one of those IDs matches the name, perhaps even the one we're looking at, that he used a fake New Jersey driver's license to check into that hostel in Upper Manhattan. So along with all of that, there are some documents that the police said seem to be relevant to this case. I think we would stop short right now because we don't have enough information of calling that a manifesto, but we are told by investigators they believe he's carrying documents that may relate to motive.
Whoa. Cooked. He's cooked. They got him. I believe that this is the guy. Based off this information alone, I mean, it's a no-brainer here, Magnolia. What do you think? Yes? No?
Yeah, it sounds like it's him. But yeah, I mean, you kept saying you didn't think he was in Atlanta or that he even came from Atlanta in the first place.
I said he was a Mid-Atlantic kind of guy. I said Jersey, Pennsylvania, Mid-Atlantic kind of guy. Philly guy.
Yeah. Yep.
But you got a situation.
Altoona is a very low-key place. It's not a big town, you know. It's pretty low key, so maybe he thought he could just lay low.
He was traveling
somewhere like that.
He was traveling.
Or I wonder if he's from there.
Nah.
Or he's on his way somewhere.
He's on his way somewhere. You know? He's on his way somewhere. He was traveling. There's no way he would have that same gun on him. Probably the way if he got recognized by an employee there, who I think deserves the reward, by the way. Whoever the employees that turned him in should get that $50K reward.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Easy, but it seems to me he was traveling. That's the indication I got. But why Altoona? And you know he's at a McDonald's, but he has the gun on him, the IDs on him, possible manifesto on him, possibly the same ID used to check into the hotel, which is stupid, absolutely stupid. And I'm looking here to try to get more information. But man, I mean, he's having basically all the evidence on him.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's the guy. So why? And where was he going? And what was his next plan? And you mean
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because I'm looking at the map too, and it's weird because if you're going through Pennsylvania, so out of New York, typically you're going to take I-80. That's the road that's the interstate that goes all the way across. So normally you're just going to get on I-80, and if you're traveling somewhere, like for me, back when I lived out that way, we took I-80. My town was right off of I-80. You just go, it's a straight shot over to New York. But to go to Altoona, you have to get off of I-80 and go south. Or you come out of New York, you're on 78, and you go through these other roads, which is not a common route to take if you're going west. Normally you would just get on 80. But anyway, you have to basically get off of I-80 and go south. You begin to go south to get to Altoona. And, it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. This is not like a highly populated area. And if you look at the map all around, it's fairly rural. So I just wonder why he would specifically go to Altoona.
But here's another thing too is I don't know which McDonald's it is. That CNN guy said there's 3 McDonald's, but I only see 2 McDonald's. So this is Altoona here. We're at Altoona here. But one thing, it's right off of I-80. I'm figuring maybe right here. This is one McDonald's, and here's another McDonald's. I'm figuring he's probably was on the one right off of I-80, which could very well be I don't know if a Greyhound bus stop is there, where the Greyhound bus stop is in Altoona, and I'll look at that for a second. But I would suspect, based off the limited information, he was at this one right here on 65 and I-80. This McDonald's right here. That's how I figured. I mean, I'm gonna look more into it and see where the Greyhound bus station is. But he could have been like, I mean, who knows? Maybe he, I don't know how he got there via Greyhound or traveling. Maybe hitchhiked. Maybe a trucker dropped him off. Maybe something. But how did he end up in Altoona? He's not from Altoona, Magnolia. I don't buy it at all.
No,
I don't buy it at all. I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying it 100% fact, but I just don't buy that he's from Altoona. No way.
well, it's just a really random place for him to be found. Like I would have never thought somewhere like that. It's super random. I don't know. So if you get off of I-80 and go down to Altoona, you can get on 99 south. You can go south. So I don't know if he was maybe headed south from that point. But yeah, it's very random. What a weird twist.
So here's another thing too. Let me just go here. Let me go right here in Altoona. Let me just make sure. So here's another thing too. Let me just get something a minute. I'm looking at something here. I'm looking at something here. Just give me a second. I'm looking. Oh, fuck. Oh, excuse my language. I had the wrong Altoona, baby. I had the wrong Altoona. Oh my God. I had Altoona,
What?
Iowa. Altoona, Iowa. Oh my God. I had Altoona, Iowa, not Altoona, Pennsylvania. Oh my God. Excuse my language. I had the wrong one. We had a told because I was looking, I was like, isn't there a Amtrak station? Look, wrong one. But the Greyhound station is in the middle of Altoona, which is right by a McDonald's. Here, I had the wrong one. I had Altoona.
Well, it's about 2 miles away.
But look, oh my goodness. So I'm thinking
It's
here.
2 miles. I mean, you could walk. It says you can walk it in 40 minutes, or it's a 7-minute drive.
Yeah, but
between the Greyhound and the McDonald's there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it shows to me, look, Amtrak. There's an Amtrak station right by the bus station. So it makes me wonder, like, did he come from New York City from the Amtrak? or the bus. But I was looking at the schedule, and I don't know if I put that in the Telegram chat. The Greyhound bus goes from Newark to Pittsburgh to Altoona, right? For Greyhound. But there's also an Amtrak station there. And an Amtrak station, Amtrak clearly goes to New York City or Jersey from Amtrak, right?
Well, yeah, so they were saying before that they believe that he got on a bus because he went to the Port Authority station there, the bus terminal, and they had surveillance of him going in, but they did not have surveillance of him coming out. So they were like, he must have got on a bus, but also he could have got on a train. We said that too. He could have gotten on a train, and the train would also go out that way. So, you know, I don't know if he necessarily was on Greyhound or if it was the Amtrak, but either one is possible, and they're right there in Altoona.
It has to be either or, because I was looking earlier and I was confused. I had the wrong map. I had the McDonald's in Iowa, at Altoona, Iowa. So I was confused by that. I was like, wait a minute, I-80 doesn't match here. So I had the wrong screen on. But then going back, I was like, yo, they had the train tracks there. Like literally everything is within walking distance. I mean, it's 3 miles. It's 3 miles. So I'm assuming it's this McDonald's. I'm assuming based off being close to the train tracks. I was confused by that before.
Yeah, it's gonna be the one on 25th.
On 25th, yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, well, here's one on Plank Road, Magnolia. Here's one on.
Yeah, I already looked at that one. I don't think it's that one. I think it's gonna end up being this one on 25th.
So how is there really 3 McDonald's in Altoona?
Well, I only saw 2.
I saw 2.
There could be another one that's maybe on the outskirts or something like that. Yeah, I think let's see.
And again, folks, what we're right now, this is a fluid.
I think the one on Plank Road is just, it's way further from the train station and everything. Let me go back. Let me look at.
But see, folks, we're just speculating here at one point of how he got into town.
So if he was, okay, so remember I was saying if you go from New York to Altoona, that direction, if you go west, typically you're going to take I-80. That is the way you go. But to get to Altoona, you have to get off of I-80 at Interstate 99 and you go down through like State College and stuff. So now what I'm saying is if he did that and he went south, maybe he was headed somewhere south. And that's why he went down that way. So he ended up in Altoona. Now, the one on Plank Road is going out of town. That's on the way south. And if you go to the one on Plank Road, you're coming towards Interstate 99, which is the interstate that you would take to go south through that area. So he could have been found at that one, I guess, like if he was maybe trying to head south. But I wonder how he was actually traveling. Like, did he have, how did he get to that McDonald's from the Greyhound? Did he walk? Did he just walk over
Magnolia,
there?
I think he took the Amtrak. I
No,
think.
I'm saying how did he get to the McDonald's from the Amtrak or the Greyhound?
Walk.
Did
It's
he
3
take
miles.
a
He's fit.
taxi?
Well, I think he walked. It's not far.
It says it's 2 miles and it's
Half
a
hour
40-minute walk, it says. Yeah, so either he walked over there or he took a taxi or an Uber or something. But yeah, was he just on foot? He was just hanging out at the McDonald's. It's just very random.
Well, see, from New York City to Altoona is 277 miles. Again, we could have the whole totally wrong path. There's just logically, there's only a few ways that this guy could have got to Altoona. One, the Amtrak, which takes you downtown Altoona. The bus station is right next to the Amtrak in Altoona, Greyhound, or hitchhiked. I don't think the guy had a car. I mean, it's clearly he was at that bus station. I could speculate that I think the guy got out of that bus. Like, again, my speculation is the guy made it to Newark, New Jersey, and probably from Newark, New Jersey, possibly got the Amtrak or Greyhound and went from there. I really think the guy took New Jersey mass transit, originally going out in New York City to Newark, and then used Newark as a staging ground. I really honestly still stand with that. I could be wrong, but I stand with that. I stand because of just Greyhound at the time. Listen, also Greyhound does take you to Altoona from the George Washington Bridge, does take you to Altoona from that station that he was seen at, but it's an 8 p.m. It's an 8 p.m. that goes out from Greyhound from George Washington Bridge to Altoona, 8 p.m. He's not sticking around that bus station at 8 p.m. that day. No way. No way. I don't buy it. Nope. Don't buy it. There's no way. There's no way, considering that by that afternoon, they've already have this guy's photos and images checking into that hotel when they were sharing that out to the public. There's no way. They would have tracked him easily, and they would have been all around that bus station right there, the Washington Heights bus station. They would have been all over there. There's no way he stands around to 8 p.m. to get that bus to Altoona. Yeah. I think he got out of that 8:05 a.m. New Jersey transit to Newark, New Jersey. And then from Newark, New Jersey, I don't know. Maybe he got picked up. I don't know. Maybe he got picked up by somebody.
Serge in the chat said they think that the Greyhound actually stops at the McDonald's. So the Greyhound may actually make a stop there. So that's interesting. He could have just literally got off the bus.
Well, that's crazy too, to be suspicious, because the clerk, if that's the case, now can you find that out for sure? Because if you think of that logic, you're thinking the employee there works at a McDonald's that's right by a Greyhound station and knows that Greyhound drops people off and knows that customers probably come off that bus and come in there. So she's probably thinking to herself, I'm going to be mindful. Whoever this employee is that turned the person in was probably like, maybe the shooter will end up coming in here. I'll know. I'll recognize because of the Greyhound and all this stuff out there about Greyhound and everything like that if you've been following the case.
Yeah.
It's similar to like when we were in Springfield and the migrants get dropped off at the Love's truck stop, at the Greyhound goes there, and the employees know that certain times they come in once they get dropped off and come to the store to buy things.
Yeah.
And they expect it. Kind of crazy. But if someone could get that Amtrak schedule, I'm curious about the Amtrak schedule to Altoona, PA. From we'll just say New York, or we'll just say New Jersey. I want to know this schedule here. I'm trying to find this now.
There's a couple more details keep coming out. So another detail that's just come out is that he was sitting and working on a laptop in McDonald's when he was spotted. He was on a laptop. So the other thing I just want to say, it's been 5 days. So I don't understand, it wouldn't take 5 days for him to travel from Greyhound, on Greyhound from New York to Altoona. So, where has he been all this time?
Great point.
Has he actually been in Altoona this whole time?
Great point.
Because it's been 5 days. It's not as if we're talking the next day. It'll be a week soon. So
Pittsburgh,
maybe what you said, he took the bus, he did the thing, he went to Newark, he came across, maybe he just stopped in Altoona, and maybe he's just been in Altoona. It's very interesting. He's sitting in McDonald's working on a laptop he lives there.
Yeah, I mean, all I can come up with, there's so many bus. If you look bus routes, they take you in all types of directions. Because, again, we're day 5. So where was he at day 4, day 3, day 2, day 1? Yeah. So, I'm thinking maybe he jotted down, there's buses that go to Baltimore, up to Pittsburgh, and then eventually to Altoona.
Yeah.
There's other ones that I believe stop in Harrisburg, Pittsburgh. I personally think if he's going into McDonald's, he is in transit. He's in transit. He doesn't have a place in Altoona. I just can't buy it. Why would a killer be seen in a McDonald's with all the evidence on him? The only theory is he's traveling with it. He's traveling.
Mm-hmm.
He's traveling. Maybe he doesn't know where to go because he knows the heat is on him.
Yeah.
But you would think he would at least change his appearance, right? What these criminals are not as smart as they think they are, Magnolia. I'm just dumbfounded how the stupid mistakes this guy made. Dumb. You thought you were slick. You thought you were cute. You thought you were going to come in like the thief in the night, and they got him. They got him. They got him on. They got him. He left a treasure trove of so much evidence.
Yeah.
This guy's no pro. He's an idiot. Then he's going to McDonald's and have the murder weapon on him in a McDonald's while he's getting a like a Big Mac or something. I don't know what he's getting in McDonald's. He looks like a fillet of fish type of guy.
I think he was in McDonald's to use the Wi-Fi for his laptop.
Wi-Fi.
I don't think he's going in there getting Big Macs. I think he was using their Wi-Fi. Yeah, Wordsley said, so has he just been at McDonald's since last Wednesday? No. Yeah, I think that he went to McDonald's to use the Wi-Fi to get on his laptop.
Okay, so they
for
say
some
it was
reason. So what was he doing on the laptop?
So they say it was the Plank Road out. Here it is. Like we were saying.
So the Plank Road one is the one that's going out of town. That's going south.
So they're saying, according to media reports, they're saying it's the Plank Road one, 407 East Plank Road, 9:15 a.m.
Yeah, so that's the one that's right off of I-99 if you're going south.
The man arrived on a Greyhound bus.
And so they're saying that the Greyhound will stop at places like McDonald's to have like a rest break for people to get food, things like that. So,
but this one is saying an elderly patron is the one that turned him in. The other report was saying an employee.
Let me see.
An elderly patron of the McDonald's provided the tip that led authorities to see. It's all fluid. That's why we're a little confused here. This is how it works with fluid breaking news at the time. So stuff comes in, you got to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a patron. It wasn't an employee.
It was a customer.
Customer.
That probably watches Fox News every day and probably saw the guy and was like, that looks like that man in that shooting.
Well, you notice CNN guy was acting like he must have watched CNN. Yeah, you know, like people, like, did you hear the CNN commentator was like, somebody was probably watching CNN and saw a picture of the suspect. No, they probably didn't watch CNN because a lot of people don't watch CNN anymore. Their ratings are at an all-time low. Maybe watch JLR Investigates. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll be a little narcissist right there and say that the patron was watching JLR Investigates and said, I recognize that guy.
Actually, you're right. That's actually more likely than it is he would be watching CNN. It's way more likely. I think we get more viewers than CNN. So
yeah, but the CNN, John Miller, when it comes to CNN, he actually does have a lot of law enforcement sources. His stuff when it comes to NYPD law enforcement stuff, he's pretty good on it. Like they probably tip him off pretty good.
Hey, maybe he's a member of the JLR Army.
Yeah, I know. I don't necessarily like CNN, though. CNN, you know, the Jerome Propavez, whatever his name is, you know what I'm talking about, the justice reporter for CNN. He does get exclusive access to the NYPD commissioner. He got that sit down with them. We seen him when we were covering Robert Card up there, up at the mass shooting up there in Maine. He was there. He always gets the first question. They give him the first question all the time at these press conferences because he's entrenched with the NYPD. So, you know, these CNN has a couple of these people that actually the law enforcement will give them information first so they can get the exclusive, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like with some cases, we get information out there first because we have access and got exclusives with people, you know? It's just, that's how it works, you know? So I want to tend to believe CNN when it comes to that aspect of getting that information out. This is the actual McDonald's photograph, the one on Plank Road, 407 Plank Road. They're saying that this is the McDonald's. I'm going to see if I can see if I can get something here as far as images inside of what the McDonald's looks like. Here's another photo of the McDonald's. Bum, 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 bum. So it's a modernized McDonald's. These are the redo-over McDonald's, right? These are different than the traditional McDonald's. He was in there, and a lot of you guys in the chat say he possibly was using the Wi-Fi, or do you think he made an order, or both?
Yeah, probably both.
In the morning time, so he's getting breakfast. Here you go. You know, one thing about the Wi-Fi's at McDonald's, yeah, we sometimes go in there and use Wi-Fi's too when we're boots on the ground and we have to upload things quickly. Sometimes we go into a McDonald's or Starbucks really quickly to sit down specifically to use their Wi-Fi, and then I'll just go get a coffee or something because it's faster. But sometimes...
And to charge our phones.
Charge phones, right? Go into McDonald's, charge phones. If he's coming off a Greyhound bus... But the Greyhound buses have Wi-Fi themselves. They advertise, plus they got chargers, right?
Okay. Well, allegedly they have that. But remember I mentioned before, I've actually been on Greyhound twice, and neither time the Wi-Fi didn't work. So they say they have Wi-Fi, but it may or may not work.
But another thing about McDonald's is sometimes their Wi-Fi is slower than the actual service you have.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes I'm trying to upload videos or whatever, like upload stuff, you know, covering stories, upload, and my phone does faster than the McDonald's Wi-Fi. Sometimes it's fast. I personally think Walmart Wi-Fi is the fastest Wi-Fi between them and Starbucks. I think they both have really some places, some Walmarts, lightning fast Wi-Fi. So sometimes I go do it at a Walmart. But if this guy's traveling, you know, McDonald's cheap meals. It's not expensive. You can get a meal now. They have $5 meals in McDonald's. You can get yourself some breakfast for $7 or $8. Go in there and charge up your Wi-Fi or charge up your phone. Go on the Wi-Fi, your computer, upload documents, see anything, or just get something to eat while you're in travel.
Yeah, but here's my question. It's only 5 hours from where he left New York to Altoona.
Where was he in between?
It's not even 5 hours. It's like 4.5 hours. So where's he been for 5 days?
Pittsburgh. If it's Greyhound from New York, it goes to Pittsburgh first before Altoona. You actually have to get off in Pittsburgh to get on another connecting bus that takes you to Altoona. There's nothing direct to Greyhound from Altoona to New York. You have to go to Pittsburgh. Newark or New York, you have to go to Pittsburgh first.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, unless I'm wrong, someone correct me. I was already looking, as soon as this thing broke, I was already looking into it. I was like, okay, bus route. Where did he go? Where did he come into Altoona from? And my indications to me is the guy went to Pittsburgh first. So he could have been in Pittsburgh for a couple of days. Could have been in Pittsburgh.
What's the address of that transit station in New York?
The transit station in New York? Which one?
Yeah,
Up at the George GW? 178th and Broadway?
It's 178.
I believe it's 178th and Broadway. The one right by the GW Bridge where he was seen going in the morning after the shooting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, from there is Greyhound that goes. Look on the Greyhound schedule. All right, I'll show you. Case in point. Stay with us, folks. We're just talking and speculating here how the killer got to this location and why he's in Altoona. Did he have a plan to do something else in Altoona? Was that also his mission too? To be in Altoona for a specific, like, is there any healthcare people that live in Altoona? Why Altoona? New York City.
That's weird.
NYC. We'll go New York to Altoona. And I'll just put the schedule because usually the schedules of the Greyhound are the same every day during the weekday. They don't really change. So I'll just do Wednesday the 11th. And survey says, here's what I'm talking about. If you look at the Altoona, and this is from the station he was at, but I still think he got out of there. But if you look at, here's the Greyhound to Altoona. They're confirming he went via Greyhound to Altoona. GW Bridge. This is the location. 8 p.m. though. 8 p.m. And then they have a 10:50 New York Port Authority, but that's not the station he was at. They're saying that they saw him go to, after the shooting, just about a half hour or 45 minutes after the shooting, he probably around 7:30 a.m. on the 4th, he arrives to the GW Bridge location. There is an 8 p.m. every weekday bus that goes to Altoona. It's 16 hours. Let's look. Let's look at the schedule, or let's look at the route. Let's see the route. Let's see. The route, doesn't, okay, here we go. Here we go. Transfers, let's see. Altoona, there's a transfers. What are the transfers? Let me see if I can, for some reason this isn't pulling up. There's a transfer, and I'm telling you, one of them transfers is Pittsburgh. It's a Pittsburgh transfer. Let me see if I can actually find this route on it. Pittsburgh maybe? Are you looking for the address, Magnolia?
Mm-hmm.
It's for what, for which one?
For that Port Authority bus terminal
It's the-
they said he went into, but they didn't have surveillance of him coming out of.
All right.
What was that?
Greyhound
Is it
GW Bridge.
625A?
It is 4211 Broadway. 4211 Broadway. 4211 Broadway. So, again, he either took the Greyhound from there, or I do believe that the Greyhound maybe started in Newark, New Jersey after he left GW to go to Newark and then got on a Greyhound from there. Greyhound from Newark to Altoona. Now let's try that. Let's try that a minute, because I don't think he's waiting around that bus station to 8 p.m. that day. I just don't buy it, Magnolia.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong, but I mean, is he staying at a bus station there all afternoon after the killing? I don't think so. Especially when he was trying to get out of there quickly. Now,
Yeah, I doubt that.
I'm going to put in Newark, New Jersey to Altoona. Now, he very well could have just had Newark, New Jersey to Pittsburgh. And then while he's in Pittsburgh, he just says, I'm going to go to Altoona. But why Altoona? That's the thing. Why Altoona?
But it does look like that. So it looks like you have to basically go all the way to Pittsburgh, which is west of Altoona, and then you have to go back to Altoona. So it's like you have to go out of your way to get to Altoona by bus. But yeah, why Altoona? Like, it's random. It's very random. I don't know. Like, when did he... I guess we'll have to wait and see what they say, but I want to know when they're saying he got to Altoona.
See, there's another one. He could have went to state college. He could have waited to state college.
Fred Scott thinks he was on a bus traveling to Minnesota. He was on his way to Minnesota, but yeah, if you're on the bus though going west to Minnesota, why would you then go back east to Altoona? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe he got off in the meantime because he knew everything was hitting the fan.
Altoona.
Because he knew things were hitting the fan. Possibly. I mean, to go to...
But if he got there by bus, he had to specifically want to go to Altoona.
What is in Altoona? Is there
For
any
some
healthcare CEOs that live in Altoona? But here's the thing is, if he was living in Altoona and he had a home in Altoona, he would not be at a McDonald's with all the evidence on him. He would have been home and he would have changed clothes and hid the evidence. He's not going to be sitting there in Altoona with the murder weapon if Altoona was his home.
Right.
I mean, unless he's an idiot. Well, he is an idiot. He is an idiot. He left so many clues and fingerprints. Fingerprints, phone, DNA, water bottle, granola bar or power bar, bullets, IDs, fake IDs, backpack, Monopoly money, jacket. Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
It's a lot. Did you say the phone?
Yeah, the phone.
He dropped a phone, allegedly.
Yeah, so, I mean, until we get more information, we're stuck here. But I'm fascinated with this. One, I want to know who he is. And I'm keep refreshing my screen because we want to get the identity of this person. Because once we get the identity of this person, game on. Game on. That means the hunt to find out who this person is, like as far as the deep dive. Once he gets named, we want to know everything, background, history, nature, and characteristics of an individual, everything about him. I want his name. I want his name.
Why don't we have his name yet? What's up with that?
What county is Altoona? Because some of the internet sleuths, what they do is then they cross-reference, but Altoona County. What is county? Is it Altoona County? Altoona is in Blair County, Pennsylvania. So what sleuths do is that they start looking at the Blair County court jail website to see if there's anyone that has been booked this morning in Blair County. Because also, folks, there's going to have to be a court case out of him for New York, what he did. He's going to have to get extradited. Therefore, he's going to have a court proceeding in Blair County before they send him to New York. So there's going to be a court case strictly for the extradition. I mean, he's being extradited out of state. He has to go back to New York, unless there's a Fed element to this, which very well could be a possibility too down the line. This could turn into a Fed case. Some sort of terrorism or something, eco-terrorism. I don't know, terrorism. But there's going to be a case coming up soon on this guy in Blair County if he got detained in Blair County. They can't just take him and put him in a car in an unmarked vehicle and send him back to New York. There's a due process legal procedure here. He has to, like, you remember Kohlberger got picked up in Pennsylvania, had to go out of state, and he's held in the Monroe County jail, and he has to go in front of there, and he has to agree to waive extradition. He can fight extradition. This guy could fight extradition. He could be picked up in Blair County. He could say, I'm not going to New York. I'm fighting it. And then he goes through all that. Eventually, he'll have to go. Eventually, the judge is going to rule in favor of the prosecution. But, I mean, he could go through all that, but it's borrowed time. He's eventually going to have to be sent back, but he could waive extradition or he could go, unless he just can't be taken there. They can't take him. He's in another state. So it does make it a little bit complicated. It does make it complicated.
I'm looking to see when they plan to have a press conference to announce this.
Well, I mean, I think they have to tread lightly here. I think you have to be careful here. I think they have to get all the basics here and be able to share what they.
New York Times is reporting that the man detained in the McDonald's in Altoona had what investigators believe was a ghost gun, meaning it was put together with parts sold online that matches the gun believed to have been used in the shooting.
Ghost gun. So does that mean that ghost guns are also defined as someone that is not legally allowed to possess a gun? Too. Yeah. As far as a ghost gun. But this guy, you know what's also interesting too, is they never, up to his arrest today, detainment, we're saying he's arrested. When you're detained, you're arrested. So they never released this guy's identity at all. Meaning, did they really not know who he was up to today? Or did they know who he was and was just waiting to track him low key to not spook him, or knew his identity? Because according to Mayor Adams, they knew who he was.
According to New York Times, I'm looking at some of the updates they posted. This is from Andy Newman with the New York Times. He says the handwritten manifesto found on the person of the man detained in Altoona criticized healthcare companies for putting profits above care.
Motive.
According to a senior law enforcement official. So the manifesto he had on him was talking about healthcare companies putting profits above care. The man he's being held for questioning. The man was identified based on a tip from someone who spotted him at about 9:15 a.m. today.
Now, people in the chat were saying there's a bus stop right by the McDonald's. According to Google Maps, there is a bus stop. Here's the McDonald's on East Plank Road. Here's a bus stop.
Yeah, so they're saying that the bus will stop at the McDonald's for people to take a rest break.
But that's not a Greyhound bus stop. That's just a bus stop. Here's the McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
So there should be there it is, right across the street. There might even be one right here somewhere. The way I saw two of them, but there's a bus stop there. There's the McDonald's. So it's safe to assume that maybe he got off the Greyhound and then took local public busing and got off here, or walked. Got off here, bus stop. He could have went to a Sheetz, but he chose to go to the McDonald's. Why this McDonald's? Why did he choose to go to this McDonald's? This is headed north, by the way. So there's a Wendy's. So I'm just looking in general. So, you know, so whoever turned this guy in deserves the reward, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope the FBI doesn't play these funny games and tries to say, well, up to $50,000, but you know, we're only going to give you $1,000. You got to send a message by encouraging people to report people and give him the entire, him or her, it could be a girl that did it, male, female, give them the $50K. But why this specific, was he hungry? Yeah, McDonald's, I mean, you know, traveling McDonald's, traveling on the road.
No, I mean, I think he's traveling on the Greyhound. I just wonder where he's been this whole time.
So, let's see. We'll keep going. Give us a second, folks. I'm just looking at Altoona. I'm refreshing Altoona to try to get some more information about specifically, you know, what's his plan to do more. So obviously he hates the healthcare industry, right? Doesn't like the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
That's clearly a mode. Now we're getting a combination of things that are all putting the pieces together. Just a traveling drifter? Was he assigned to do this? Or was he just doing this on his own? Was he doing this on his own? You got the DOJ lawsuit against them, against the CEO of what? Inflating the stock. You got healthcare prices. People are saying that, you know, over the years, healthcare has become less and less affordable. Here's another news report by ABC News. So we heard Fox, we heard CNN. Let's listen to ABC News of what they have to say about this. So now we got 3 major media outlets talking about this. So let's see what this is. It's about a 2-minute clip. Let me go right here and play this for everyone. Man apprehended. Suspect was just nabbed. Let's listen.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News police in Pennsylvania are questioning a man in connection to the murder of Unitedhealthcare CEO. This comes as ABC News has obtained new video showing Brian Thompson's killer waiting for him moments before the shooting. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, is here with the latest. Aaron, what are you hearing about this man being questioned now in Pennsylvania?
The NYPD is sending detectives to Altoona, Pennsylvania now, Diane, hoping to get involved with this lead. I'm told that the authorities have taken this person into custody. We don't have an ID on him, but they've taken him into custody for questioning in connection with the shooting death of Brian Thompson. One suspicion that the authorities appear to have, this person who's now in police custody in Pennsylvania has a gun that is similar to the weapon that was used to kill the Unitedhealthcare CEO, according to law enforcement sources. So they are now questioning this person. The NYPD is on its way, hoping that this is going to be a significant break in the case, but we just don't know yet.
And could be especially significant given this wasn't just a regular handgun that you might expect to be used in a crime like this.
It was a distinctive gun. It's bolt action, which means it has to be manually cycled. Then the long barrel makes the police think that this is some type of veterinary weapon, perhaps used on farms or ranches. Not what you might see in an assassination-style killing. So they've been very focused on the gun. They have not found the murder weapon yet, I'm told. So if this is the case, this could either just be a guy has a similar gun,
right,
and that's it,
nah,
or it could be something else.
And talk to me about this video that ABC obtained, because you say it shows this suspect, whoever he is, clearly waiting for Thompson.
And this is why police came out right away and said this was a targeted thing, because the video shows him loitering around the Hilton Hotel. Other people go by and he's unbothered. Only when Brian Thompson comes into his view do you see him scooting across 54th Street, approaching from behind and opening fire. So the authorities have asked for patience here, Diane. Even with a killer on the loose, they do not believe there is a danger to the public at large.
All right. So, Magnolia, people in the chat are saying a name. What do you know about a name? Do we have a name?
What name?
People are saying a name that starts with an L. Can someone put that back in the chat? People keep saying a name. There's a certain name. I'm gonna search right now for that name. Kind of like Mario and like Super Mario and.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we know the name.
Wait, New York Post got a name.
What do they have?
Luigi.
Is it the one that?
New York Post is putting out a name, folks. Luigi. Luigi. Who is this guy? Who is Luigi?
So they're saying on New York Post, they're saying person of interest in fatal shooting ID'd as Luigi Mangione, an ex-Ivy League student.
Let's get some more information. Let's see if we can.
Person of interest identified in the killing of Unitedhealthcare CEO Brian Thompson is an anti-capitalist former Ivy League student who liked online quotes from Unabomber Ted Kaczynski raging about the country's medical community. Tech whiz Luigi Mangione, 26, of Towson, Maryland, was taken into custody Monday morning at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, after an intense manhunt. He has not yet been charged. The former prep school valedictorian was caught with a manifesto that appeared to list grievances with the healthcare industry, including taking on their enormous profits and alleged shady motives. He is believed to have acted alone, and it was unclear if he had yet made any statements. Mangione has subscribed to anti-capitalist and climate change causes, in addition to showing he despises the healthcare industry in the country, according to law enforcement sources citing online activity gleaned by authorities. On the Goodreads website, Mangione's account shows quotes he particularly likes, ranging from Socrates to Bruce Lee to wacky anti-establishment Ted Kaczynski, the infamous Unabomber who terrorized the country for 2 decades. Quote, imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy, then gives them the drugs to take away their unhappiness, Kaczynski wrote at one point in a quote liked by Mangione. Another quote, science fiction, it is already happening to some extent in our own society. Instead of removing the conditions that make people depressed, modern society gives them antidepressant drugs. In effect, antidepressants are a means of modifying an individual's internal state in such a way as to enable him to tolerate social conditions that he would otherwise find intolerable. Mangione was valedictorian of his 2016 high school graduating class at the Gilman School in Baltimore, where he played soccer, according to online sites. High school tuition at the all-boys school is nearly $40,000 a year. He said at the time of graduation that he planned to seek a degree in artificial intelligence, focused on the areas of computer science and cognitive science at the University of Pennsylvania, according to an interview with the Baltimore Fishbowl. So they got quite a bit of information already.
Look, Magnolia, look at this. Like, this is crazy because look, all right, I'm just saying, like we were saying to AI, let me spin this camera around. AI was pretty on spot, don't you think? Pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty close. This is pretty close in the way, because this photo that we've been using was AI. And people are saying, I mean, this is pretty close, man, from the guy. But the guy's definitely in shape. The guy's definitely in shape. Why? From Towson, Maryland. From Towson, Maryland. Isn't that outside Baltimore?
Yes.
So is it possible that, remember I said the route that takes you into from Atlanta, the bus route that he arrived at 10 o'clock on the 24th, stopped in Atlanta, stopped in Charlotte, stopped in Greensboro, it stopped in Petersburg, Virginia, it stopped in Washington, D.C., it stopped in Baltimore, Maryland, and then up to the Port Authority. So did he latch on in Maryland? Did he latch on in Maryland? Towson, Maryland. Let me just see. So he's from Towson, Maryland. Towson.
It's Towson.
Spell that. That's out.
Towson. Towson.
Gotcha. Towson, Maryland. So we're going to look on the map here. I just want to show you where Towson, Maryland is on the map. I'm getting it out here. It's literally outside Baltimore.
This is ridiculous.
This is crazy.
Oh my God.
So we have a guy that basically does not like the healthcare industry, right? What do we got here, Magnolia? Because
Everybody,
Towson.
all I know is get ready for the memes. That's all I can say.
So Towson he's from here, just north of Baltimore, off of 695.
Mm-hmm.
So did this guy go to the Greyhound down in Baltimore and then latch on and go up to NYC? Is that what we're looking at here? Is that what he did?
He could have stopped off in Baltimore, but yeah, my question still remains: where has he been for 5 days? Because even if he took that long bus route, that is it's no more than a day total to go from New York to end up in Altoona on the bus. So that's like a day's worth of traveling. So yeah, where has he been this whole time? So we looked at these routes. They go from New York, potentially go south through, like if he got the bus in New York and went south, he would have gone through New Jersey, through the Princeton, Wilmington, down through Towson.
Yeah.
That route actually goes right through Towson, as a matter of fact. Let me send you the screenshot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you take a bus, let me get this right here.
Well, that's the southernmost point of that particular route. Now, there's multiple routes, but if you take it, and it's highlighted in that picture I sent you in green, it literally goes right through Towson, which is the Baltimore area, and then it picks up again and goes west on I-70, all the way up to Pittsburgh, and then east again back to Altoona. So
you think he maybe went home first and then realized his image was out there and then left?
Yeah, that's crazy that he. That's crazy.
Is that a possibility that he left New York, whether it was Newark or left New York, went down Greyhound, down back to Maryland, Towson, if I'm saying that right?
That's kind of what it looks like. That's what it looks like, yeah.
And then took the Greyhound bus maybe to Pittsburgh, and then from Pittsburgh maybe went to Altoona?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he just avoid Maryland whatsoever? But the mystery has been solved.
Okay, so it looks like there's a press conference coming up in a few minutes. Eric Adams is going to do a press conference. The AP has this set to start at 1:35 p.m.
1:35. Okay, so we got it lined up. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch the press conference together. Let me get it up here ready. Press conference. Yeah, so 8 minutes. So we got some time, and we'll play it here on JLR Investigates, and then we'll continue to talk about this case. So Mr. Luigi, I saw Luigi being posted in the chat, and I'm like, oh, we got somebody, but I didn't want to say a name until.
No, I saw people putting Luigi, and I thought people were trolling. I was like, "There's no way this guy's name is Luigi."
So, is this an Italian name? Is this guy Italian?
Oh man,
I mean,
I don't know, but it's the co-star of Super Mario World.
Luigi. Yeah, Luigi, folks. All right, so yeah, we got a press conference coming in T-minus 7 minutes. So
This is ridiculous.
it's crazy, Magnolia. It's crazy.
Oh, but yeah, to answer your question, I'm just kind of like in shock right now. But yeah, to answer your question, Luigi is absolutely an Italian name. So this guy is Italian.
So the guy is Italian.
For crying out loud. Oh, Lord.
I want to know if Adams really knew who the guy was, like Adams was claiming.
So, Jonathan, Angie G just posted a super chat, and she said his Instagram is still up. You better go.
Okay, so send me the link, Magnolia. Find it.
I don't have it. Hold on. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna share his Instagram while it's up because it's going.
Why did he have all that stuff on his person? That's wild to me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we're gonna get his Instagram up as soon as you send me a link, Magnolia, if you can find it. Because we're gonna share it because Facebook and social media usually takes these things down. They usually take these things down quickly. As soon as it up. Instagram. Let me see. Instagram. All right.
I think I have it here.
Instagram. All right.
It says Luigi from Fiji.
Luigi from Fiji. Yeah, we got it.
Luigi
All right, here we go.
from
While we're waiting for the press conference, we got Luigi from Fiji. So remember this face before they take it down. Luigi from Fiji. And we have photographs. Luigi. Look. Luigi. What's that? Stottsbury Mansion? So here's the guy. Yeah, I mean, the eyebrows, man. The eyebrows. The smile. Remember the smile?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the smile? Oh, look at this. Is this like his frat bros? Oh, he's part of, what fraternity is that?
Don't even tell me he's in Sigma Chi.
No.
Okay. I was going to say, that would just be too much. Oh, it says Pi Kappa Psi.
That looks like that's him, right? Looks like that's him. Out of all the people here, yeah, that's him. That's him. Huh. All right, let's keep going. What do we got? Oh, what do we got? Here's the shooter. Here's what we got. You're hearing this first on JLR Investigates. Look at him. This is Howl at the Moon. There he is. This is him. Look, the eyebrows. The eyebrows gave him away. The eyebrows. Philadelphia. He's wearing a Philly hat. Oh, look. Female companion. Ocean City, New Jersey, 218.
That's his sister.
Oh, it's sister. Oh, my God. She's going to be embarrassed.
He tagged her in this, Lucia. I think her name is Lucia. She has a company called Lucia Art Studio.
So there's not many pictures of him. Who's he? Don't tell me. His sister in Hawaii with the sister. So he went to Hawaii. Yeah, this is weird. It's just a weird case. What do we got here? We're trying to get an understanding of who this guy. He was in Puerto Rico. He posted this from Puerto Rico back in 2021. So he travels. Stanford University, 219. Here he is. Well, symbolism. A lot of people are going to be like Illuminati, The Rock, symbolism. There he is. We're showing this now because before this goes away, what is this? Where's this at? He's a traveler. He's literally a traveler. He's been to a lot of places.
He comes from a wealthy family, is what it sounds like.
Luigi.
They said he was going to a school that was like $40,000 a year. Ivy League, valedictorian. I mean, this is so weird. this whole thing.
Yes, Luigi.
Oh man, look what I just came across. Look,
What do you
this
got?
is in one of the pictures. This is hilarious. He has a picture from August 25th, 2019. He's holding a Happy Meal.
Whoa, send it to me.
I did.
Oh my goodness, folks. The irony. The irony. He's holding a Happy Meal. For what date?
That was in August 2019.
So he likes McDonald's, posing on a photo with a Happy Meal, and he gets caught.
There he is.
There you go. Blue Angels are awesome. Thank you.
I said last night that remember we were showing that AI video that they made. I was saying I felt like the AI video was making his skin too dark. I thought he was going to be lighter like this.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
It was making him a little bit darker than I thought he would actually be.
I'm shocked.
This looks.
I mean, because I thought, to me, the eyebrows made it appear like he was Middle Eastern. And a lot of people in the chat, including myself, was like Persian, Middle Eastern,
Greek. Well, we were wondering Greek,
Turkish.
too. Yeah.
And it ended up being a guy named Luigi.
Wild. We need the I'm ready for the memes. I'm bracing myself. I'm ready.
Yeah, so folks, we're waiting
they're
for
gonna
this
be all
press
over the
conference.
place.
Susan's press conference. We're going to have it. We're going to share it. Then we're going to discuss and dissect. Maybe Adams will share more out of this press conference. Then, we'll get some more information from Mr. About Luigi here.
Oh, I can't wait for this press conference.
Luigi. So
I want to hear what he says.
yeah, so this T-minus, they're waiting. So this press conference is going to come up shortly. I'll box it up, and then we'll listen to it. We got the McDonald's here. There's a picture of Luigi here. Now, of course, you're going to get Twitter people say, this guy's hot. Look at him. He's a stud. That's how people are saying. They're putting his picture out there saying he's hot. He's a stud. And, this guy might, here's the thing, Magnolia. We might, when we're talking about Brian Kohlberger case and all the fangirls and everything like that, this guy could have a big fan following at this point.
Oh, yeah.
This guy could be liked. This guy could have all types of girls writing to him and guys, and because this killing so far, it seems like a lot of people wanted him to escape and get away and everything like that. I see the fangirls coming out on this one.
So look, we had some clues though. We actually had some clues that he was well off. Let's go back. The $300 backpack. A lot of people were saying that his jacket he was wearing was also expensive, that his shoes were expensive. He had all these really expensive items that kind of stood out. So that was a little bit of a clue there that he may come from money or he may have money, because what killer do you see walking around on the street with a high-end backpack and things like that? So those were clues too. So I wonder if some of that, like his economic status, may have helped them figure out more about him. I'm wondering how much they knew about him in particular before the person called 911 this morning. Like when the person called and said, hey, I think I see this guy, did they already know his name? Did they already know all these things about him? I think they did.
Look at this. I mean, they're showing him. I mean, the guy has a very broad smile. This is the guy that did it. This is crazy. I do see a traveling, affluent lifestyle from this guy. This is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers, folks. We're getting information in real time. So during the course of this live, we've uncovered a lot that has been shared. One, the suspect has been arrested, Altoona. Well, we were pretty much saying that that's him, right? We're pretty much saying that the person they arrested in Altoona is probably the shooter, right? And now it's been revealed of who the shooter is. And it's this guy. And it looks like I mean, literally looks just like the guy based off the things. Now, why did this guy do it? I mean, you said he didn't like the healthcare industry. Is that the actual?
He looks like somebody from like the Disney Channel, like on a Disney show or something.
He definitely has movie star type of looks. I'll be honest. Like some guy that's a clean cut white guy. Oh man, it's just wow. You know, you never know who does these things, you know? And this one is going to turn into a whole different game here because I think this guy is going to be championed by people. Oh,
Karen said it's creepy. I agree.
Look at this. They're saying that he has an Instagram or he has a Twitter account that's been up. They're saying that he has a Twitter account and they're putting here. Interesting. People, he's following certain. Let's see his following. Let's see his following. Look at this guy. You know who this reporter is. He's following this guy from New York Times opinion author. There's a lot of controversy centered around this individual right here. Let's see his following. This is who he's following. Let's see. Any names that stick out? He's following Edward Snowden. He's following AOC. Patrick Bet David he follows. Robert Kennedy. Huh. He follows RFK, Magnolia.
Yeah.
Let's see. These are the people he follows. Oh, he follows the isn't this the one that does the software?
Which one?
The time predictor, John McAfee.
John McAfee?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't he dead?
Yes. Let's see. Steve-O from Jackass. Joe Rogan. He follows Joe Rogan. Senator Stanley Chang from Hawaii. It's always good to see who these people follow before their accounts go down. Phil Jackson. Is that Phil Jackson from the Lakers? Yeah, right? Phil Jackson from the Lakers. So this is the very first person he follows. I don't know who this is, but they locked their profile down. So, I mean, I see a combination, a mix. I don't see like far left all across the board here. Do you?
No.
I don't really, the only politician that he really follows, really the Congress is AOC as far as a congresswoman. So let's go back and we're waiting for the press conference to come. Last time he posted, let's just try to get an understanding of his tweet. June 10th was the last time he retweeted somebody.
Yeah, he's posting a lot about AI.
Cellular agriculture is where solar power was 20 years ago and EV batteries were 10 years ago. So what is he talking about here? I'm just trying to get an understanding here of his mindset.
This is so bizarre.
Yeah, this is so he does tweet.
Yeah, he's pretty active on Twitter. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he's retweeting Elon Musk stuff. A lot of the stuff is he's retweeting other people. So I just scrolled. It looks like I got to the bottom, and the first post was March 16th.
Of 2023? I'm down 2023s. What year?
March. Mine stopped March 16th this year.
Yeah, it's still going. I'm now at February 2023. I'm scrolling down because the Twitter's going to get rid of this very soon.
Yeah.
That's what they always do. Whenever once the person gets, I mean, his whole social media accounts are going to be scrubbed very, very soon. So, I mean, we're going back now to 2022. I'll look at this stuff later, but this is the only way to document. Random tweet 48844. What's he even talking about? So now these are like weird stuff he put in 2016. So we really just started going like in 2022. From 2022 to 2016, there's nothing on his Twitter account. Nothing. So now he has a bunch of these like random tweets from 2016. April 14th. He's just going on, going and going and going. Going and going and going. Going and going and going. I'll just see how far it goes down. Okay, so his very first tweet was April 14th, 2016. Let's see he got 4,000 followers. I'm sure people now are following him. Yep, people following me are following him now. But these are people probably that are just latching on now. George Santos. George Santos follows him. George Santos follows him.
Yeah, a bunch of people are following him right now.
Yeah, I'm sure once it just keeps going up and up and up. But yeah, this is going to be interesting because, again, he's going to have support here. I see it. I already see it coming.
Police responding officers.
Okay, cool. Let me go to the press conference. Give me
Here
one
we go.
second. Here, Here we go.
Questioned a suspect who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset. NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further. This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world, and of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners. On every level, local, state, and federal, we all serve the same public safety mission. And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead. For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video, followed up on hundreds of tips, and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more to tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system, Argus cameras, and conducted aviation canvasses. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for. This combination of old school detective work and new age technology is what led to this result today. And we must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we shared with the public were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led to the recovery of crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our ears in these investigations. This is the third time in 3 weeks that a member of the public has seen something and said something and done something that led to a high-profile arrest. The triple stabbing homicide in Manhattan, the gunpoint robberies in Queens during which an NYPD officer was shot, and now this. Now, the case will continue through the criminal justice process, and while we are proud of today's accomplishment, we must, of course, remember that a family is in mourning. I want to again extend my sympathies to Brian's family, his co-workers, and all who knew him. Finally, I want to thank the women and men of the NYPD, especially our Detective Bureau personnel, with a strong assist from our intelligence analysts. We also thank the SAC of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division, Leslie Rodriguez-Bekshies. And I want to commend the staff of the Manhattan DA's office, and especially DA Alvin Bragg. He has been working with us 24/7 on this case, and I am incredibly grateful for his partnership. I'll now pass it along to our great Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny, who will provide additional information. Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. As the Commissioner stated earlier, a male was taken into custody today at Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born and raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California, and his last known address was Honolulu, Hawaii. He has no prior arrest history in New York. Members of the NYPD Detective Bureau are currently traveling to Pennsylvania with members of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to interview this subject. This case was brought to a successful conclusion based on the coordinated effort between numerous NYPD units, including the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Bureau, our federal partners at the FBI, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and of course, members of the Altoona Police Department in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, one day after this crime was committed, the NYPD released a photo of the shooter in this case. This picture was obtained by the NYPD during one of their extensive video canvasses. We took that photograph and we asked for the public's help in identifying this subject, and the public responded. Hundreds of tips began to pour into our hotline. Each tip was investigated thoroughly, and we began to release additional photographs as they came into our possession. The NYPD provided these photos to numerous media outlets. Local, national, and international outlets released the photo via television, print, social media, and online content. Luckily, a citizen in Pennsylvania recognized our subject and called local law enforcement. Members of the Altoona Police Department responded to the call, and based on their investigation, they notified the NYPD. This investigation is still active and ongoing. Thank you very much.
Questions? Let me just turn this up a minute.
I had a couple questions about the document that he was found in possession with. Can you go a little bit more in depth about those motivations that you mentioned? Was that CEO specifically named in that document? Was there anything more about him wanting to go after others? And also in that document, was there any indication that explains us how...
With Monday.com, every business, no matter the industry or size, can simply work better. Monday.com.
Sorry, in the possession of the Altoona Police Department as part of their investigation. But just from briefly speaking with them, we don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document, but it does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America.
Over here, sir.
MJ? Chief, was the suspect wearing a mask at the time he was spotted in the McDonald's? And also, criminal cases often have a linchpin. Can you point to a single linchpin that helped crack this case?
There's numerous linchpins in this case, in the fact that we've recovered an enormous amount of forensic evidence, an enormous amount of video, and once again, with your help and the public's help. So I really couldn't put it on one thing, but if I had to, it would be the release of that photograph from the media.
Was he wearing a mask?
You said he had a passport on him. Do you believe he was trying to flee the country? And also, are you still looking for any evidence in Central Park with regards to the bike?
We had divers in the water yesterday that came up negative results. The passport, we don't believe that he was planning on doing any traveling at this time. We don't think at this point in our investigation, we don't think he was trying to flee the country.
The person at the McDonald's, were they buying food? What were they doing at that exact moment?
He was an employee.
Employee.
But what was the suspect doing?
He was sitting there eating.
Will the suspect be brought back to New York and charged here? And when?
We're going to have to work that out with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He's going to be facing gun charges there. And at some point, we'll work out through extradition to bring him back to New York to face charges here, working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Hi, Me from the New York Post. I was just hoping to get more details on the capture itself. Did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to cops? And we've also reported that he published online anti-health care industry rantings. Can you share with us some of the services that he posted on?
We're still working through his social media. We're going to do a complete scrub of that. Preliminarily, like I said, he seems that he has some ill will toward corporate America, but that will all come out as part of our investigation. We're not done here. We're still going to be putting this together. We're still going to be working very hard to bring this to a successful conclusion.
The capture itself, did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to police?
I don't have that information.
Oh, sorry. Can you elaborate on how he got there, the path he took from Port Authority and on the George Washington Bridge to Altoona, PA? Same thing.
This just happened this morning. We'll be working, backtracking his steps from New York to Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I was going to ask if you knew anything, if he took a bus to Philadelphia first and then somehow got to Altoona. But
We're still working on that. We're still working through that.
Is there any indication that anybody else was helping him from the inside, as far as tracking the CEO's movements?
Well, once again, we're still working this investigation very hard. It's not at its conclusion yet. That could come out during our investigation, but as of right now, we have no indication that that took place.
Chief, did he have any weapons or anything like that with him when he was arrested?
He was in possession of a ghost gun that had the capability of firing a 9mm round and a suppressor.
Can you get into a little bit about the technical aspects of the investigation? I know you deployed an unprecedented amount of technology. You also activated the Sentry program through Intel. Can you talk about how that is going to play into actually building the case as far as cell phone and all of the other technical aspects of what you've done?
In this case, it really came down to technology was the use of drones in Central Park, and really comes down to the video canvas that we did. We used every source of video that we could collect, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours from hundreds of sources, and that helped bring this to where we are right now.
The gun is it believed to be the gun he used in the shooting? And there was some talk that it was a veterinarian type gun. Is that accurate?
No, as of right now, the information we're getting from Altoona is that the gun appears to be a ghost gun. May have been made on a 3D printer. The capability of firing a 9mm round, obviously that will come out during our ballistics testing.
Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver Barnes from the Financial Times. Do you have any indication how long this handwritten, is it a handwritten manifesto that you found on the suspect? And then also whether or not he put it online at all?
Don't know if it's online. As of right now, it's a handwritten 3-page in Hawaii.
You knew him by name before today. Was his name on your radar?
Excuse me?
Was his name on your radar? Was he someone who you had been looking into before his arrest?
No, we did not have his name prior to today.
Great question. That's what I was going to ask.
Does he have any prior arrests? I know there were none for New York City, but is there any prior arrests anywhere else in the country?
We have not come across any arrests in the country.
Chief, hi, how are you? On two things. On the ghost gun, is it something you're going to be looking into to see if he made it himself and can he make that himself, or would he have to buy the gun the way it was?
No, once again, that'll be part of our investigation as we follow up.
I mean, obviously he's going to face murder charges, but is there any chance that he could face any other charges because he was targeting the CEO and because of his writings and other things that we're now finding on him? Federal charges or
that determination will be made by Alvin Bragg.
Yes, what connections does he have in Pennsylvania that you know of, and are they in Altoona specifically?
We believe he attended college in Pennsylvania.
Does he know anybody in Pennsylvania?
Wouldn't be able to tell you that.
All right, we're going to take one more question on the shooting, Marla, and then we're going to vote.
You talk about the manifesto having said things against corporations, but specifically Unitedhealthcare, and do you believe that Mangione acted alone?
We believe at this point, our investigation is leaning toward he was acting alone. So, like I stated earlier, we're still working through the investigation. We're not stopping today. And as far as the manifesto, like I said, I don't have the complete details of that. It's in the possession of the Altoona Police Department.
We're going to shift to
Yep. Good job, Chief. Commissioner, Chief Manager.
Okay, so this is something different now. All right, so this is, let me just make sure. The mayor might be doing something else. But I do want to take you back at the beginning because the mayor speaks at the beginning.
Again, great job by the New York City Police Department. In certain aspects of this investigation and the crime itself is something that we have been zeroing in on, ghost guns. We have really talked about this since the beginning of the administration. They could be made on a 3D printer, and they are extremely dangerous, and we must do more on the federal level to clamp down on the availability of ghost guns. And it just really leads into just the top headers of what we did last week and what we're doing this week. This week is all about public safety. Public safety, I've stated over and over again, is a prerequisite to our prosperity, and we're going to continue to make this city a safe city. It's the safest big city in America, but anytime you have a crime of this magnitude, it shocks us, and it really has a major impact on the perception of crime in this city. This crime has continued to go down. We're going to continue to do what's needed. Today, we announced in every block count initiative, and the blocks that we identified since October, they have not had one shooting or one shots fired.
All right, so he's talking about a whole different thing about a program. We'll get into that a little bit. Magnolia.
Yeah.
All right, so they did not know his name prior to the arrest. They did not have this guy on their radar as far as this guy's name.
That's crazy to me.
I thought they would have the guy, right? I thought they would know the guy. The mayor, I mean, pretty much said they know who the guy is, but then he backpedaled on that statement, correct?
Yeah, I figured that they knew his name and who he was, just not where he was.
So he's arrested. He does have that fraternity thing in Pennsylvania. Was he trying to go back to Pennsylvania? Where did he go to college? Did they say where he went to college?
Yeah, University of Pennsylvania.
Which is State College?
Yeah. It's in the Altoona area.
No, the University of Pennsylvania and Penn State's different, right? University of Pennsylvania. Yeah. So where is the University of Pennsylvania campus?
There are several.
Well, where's their main campus?
Wasn't it State College?
I'm looking here. Is there a Altoona element? Is there an Altoona? Penn State, Altoona. Penn State, Altoona. There is a Penn State in Altoona. So the reason why I'm asking is because the way we're looking at it, he's from suburban Baltimore. What would he be doing in Pennsylvania? Maybe he just went up there to because he's familiar with that area because he went to school up there.
Yeah.
And thought a place that he could hide out. Because he knew things were probably happening quickly and he needed somewhere, but he brings the evidence with him.
That's what I'm saying. It's so weird that they find him and he literally has the gun, the IDs, the manifesto. This is bizarre. This whole situation is so bizarre.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some more information as it comes across. Coincidentally, the mayor's talking about a program about gun prevention the same day they announced his arrest, which is very strange. Did you see that? The mayor was already talking about another issue, about this Keeping New York Safe Communities initiative that they were doing. That's why the mayor was there. They were already doing another press conference on some sort of gun safety in the city of New York.
Yeah, it was to do with ghost guns, and so with this suspect, they're saying that they believe he had a ghost gun.
But what's the irony of that?
It was kind of tying that into this gun safety thing that he's talking about.
But like you're already having it looks like this press conference was already going to happen regardless if this guy was arrested or not about these ghost guns.
Uh-huh.
And then coincidentally, you could bring the NYPD in there, the commish, and the lead detective there, and talks about the announces of the arrest.
Yeah.
And then they leave, and he continues to talk about ghost guns.
Does
Duchess of Wisdom said it's weird because it's staged. Yeah, it's just, I don't even know what to make of this. I mean, it's just so bizarre on so many different levels. This is a guy, it looks like this is a guy who is a literal frat boy with money. His family, I guess, has money, running around with $300 backpacks, and he has an issue with wealth and privilege, and he's the personification of wealth and privilege. It's so weird. This is so bizarre that he would do something like this. I understand he has beef, or he thinks there's something wrong with the healthcare system and all these other things, but like, to do something like this, to shoot someone in the middle of the street in New York City at point blank range, this guy's a psychopath.
So they're referring to him as an anti-capitalist, a data engineer, and former Ivy League student.
Yeah. He is the definition of wealth and privilege.
So does he fit the persona of someone taking out a healthcare CEO?
Not really. I mean, no. I mean, I don't think I would have ever thought, oh, it must be a frat boy who did this. Huh? No. I don't think anyone probably thought that. So, yeah, things just aren't lining up here. It's very strange. Also, he's a valedictorian from high school. He's a frat boy, University of Pennsylvania. He's into AI. It seems like he's traveling a lot. It seems like he has a pretty good life. He has a lot of potential in his career, probably has a lot of opportunities, a lot of different things going for him. Some people think he has looks going for him. Seems like he's got it all, right? So why would he go and do something like this?
It doesn't seem like they said his last known address was Hawaii, not Maryland.
Yeah.
So we saw an Instagram photo with him in Hawaii. They say he has ties to San Francisco. But they didn't say anything about Maryland. Did they? And they don't know how he got to Altoona. But they also believe he acted alone. Did he act alone? Or are there more people involved? This is just a photo of him circulating. Are there more people involved? Why? Why Brian Thompson? Again, so we can nip it in the bud that it wasn't he's a assassin hired. Can we nip that in the bud? That he's not an assassin hired, or no?
No.
You think there could have been a hired element here?
Well, how do you explain this behavior?
I can't explain it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure it out, Magnolia. I'm trying to understand this and process everything that's available, the information, and trying to spin it through my head and try to figure this thing out.
So Ben Bruskin posted a super chat and said, I think he did the Unitedhealthcare hack in October. If he is a data engineer, maybe he hacked into them to get the CEO's movements.
Oh.
Yeah, so Unitedhealthcare did have a pretty big data breach not very long ago.
Do you know when? Can you throw the date in so we can so the viewers can understand that? Is it connected in any way? Have they arrested anyone in reference to that hack? Was it authorities, talking about FBI investigation about that? What comes out of that hack?
Let's see. I think that there's been a few, but the major one was back in the spring. It was in March, I think. February 3rd. No, this was in 2023, actually. This one, February 3rd, 2023, the company confirmed it was vulnerable and that an unauthorized user accessed information from its broker and agent portal. So that happened last year. And then I think that they were also this year notifying patients and letting people know if their information was affected by part of the breach. So yeah, let's see.
Well, I got some information.
And again in September 2023. So it's interesting they've had several.
So they're saying that he's 26. So I think a lot of us in the chat were saying, the guy would be in his 20s that did this.
Yeah. Yep.
He's an anti-capitalist, socialist, Ivy League grad student. He's against profits this is what they're putting out. They're against profits and corporations. He liked online quotes from the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, raging against the country's medical community. He's a former prep student. 2016, he graduated high school graduating class at Gilman School in Baltimore, where he played soccer. School tuition at an all-boys school is nearly $40,000 a year. $40,000 a year. We also got another comment. Got a comment by Blue. Blue says, Blue Angels are awesome. Again, did they say where he lives now? I believe they said last known address was Hawaii.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
So this guy is definitely the example of what you would say, what people say, white privilege? Privileged?
Yeah.
Privileged?
Pretty much, yeah.
Privileged, Ivy League, soccer player, top of the class type of deal. Pretty scary stuff, doesn't it?
Has everything going for him, everything going his way. Yeah, it's very, very strange. So there's some more stuff. So this website called goodreads.com. This is a website. I don't know if people are familiar with it, but it's a website that people that are into books usually frequent. Here's a quote that he liked.
What? Can you send me the link so I can show everyone? Can you send me the link, please?
Yeah, I sent it to you earlier.
Is that the Fishbowl, Baltimore Fishbowl?
No, that's the article about him being valedictorian.
Okay, I got the Goodreads. I got it. All right, so I'm pulling this
So
up.
he liked a quote back in May from a book called, what is this book? Kurt Vonnegut. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. So he says, the quote says, America is the wealthiest nation on earth, but its people are mainly poor, and poor Americans are urged to hate themselves. To quote the American humorist Ken Hubbard, it ain't no disgrace to be poor, but it might as well be. It is in fact a crime for an American to be poor, even though America is a nation of poor. So it just goes on and on about that topic.
So does he have anything about deny, defend, depose, or anything similar to that type of talk?
Yeah, I don't see it yet. I'm scrolling through here, but
He's saying American is the wealthiest nation on earth, but its people are mainly poor, and poor Americans are urged to hate themselves. That's what he said. This is what the suspect said in a quote, folks. So
well, he didn't say it. It's a quote from a book that he shared.
he liked a quote. Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
The quote is from Kurt Vonnegut. So
What's the other one here? The topic of a tree?
knowledge. I've heard people compare knowledge of a topic to a tree. If you don't fully get it, it's like a tree in your head with no trunk. And without a trunk, when you learn something new about the topic, a new branch. Yeah, this is from Tim Urban. That's a quote from Tim Urban. So he's got a list of books that he wants to read.
Ayn Rand.
Atlas Shrugged, American Prometheus, Robert Oppenheimer, pre-Socrates, Industrial Society. So this is the one right here, Industrial Society and Its Future, is the Ted Kaczynski book.
By Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, right here. He rated the book 4 stars out of 5. So, yeah. Yeah, so it understands his mindset, right? The type of books he likes to read. That kind of gets into his mind a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of what his interests are. 26 years old, folks. Ivy League, educated, 40,000 a year prep school he went to. What is going on here? Why him? Why would he ruin his career and ruin his life to do this? Where it doesn't seem like he has any connection whatsoever to Brian Thompson, other than his gripe against the healthcare industry. Unless there's more to it. I mean, he's kind of idolizing, I guess you would say, Ted Kaczynski. You think he idolizes Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber?
Yeah, I mean, well, he definitely seems maybe influenced by the Unabomber.
People are saying that he's a fan of Peter Thiel. Here.
Right. So, exactly. So on the Twitter account, he's posting things from like Peter Thiel. Remember, you said he was.
Is it Thiel or Teal?
Joe
Teal.
Rogan.
Let me just make sure I say his last name correct. Thiel or Teal?
I think it's Thiel.
Okay.
Peter Thiel.
So what is this? I'm trying to understand this, Magnolia. I'm trying to get an understanding of this because, the media, I don't know if they're really going to go deep dives into this guy.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. That's why I'm like, what in the world is going on here? McDonald's and
unless he at some point became like radicalized somehow, like was he, like you said, was he studying Unabomber? Was he obsessed with the Unabomber? The Unabomber, his manifesto was all about modern industrial society and the different things, resentment towards like technological advances and different things like that. The relationships between humans and technology, all these type of things, which is interesting though, because they're saying that he was specializing in AI. So that is kind of the opposite of what Kaczynski was talking about, right? I don't think it's, I feel like he's almost opposite of that.
all right, I got something
Unless
here.
he just completely changed his mind on everything. And
Here, I have something here, Magnolia. They're trying to say that he spoke here. I'm going to get this. If we could get this. They're saying that he, Gilman, Baltimore, gives speech encouraging fellow students. So what's going on here with the 119th Gilman School Founders Day ceremony? So I'm going to get this speech out here. Give me a second and find this speech that allegedly he's been talking. So let's hear his voice. Shall we? Shall we hear his voice?
this looks like his valedictorian speech.
Well, now they're saying video is unavailable. It's private. Can we find it? Can you find it, Magnolia? It says it's private now. I click on it and it says video is unavailable. The video is private. What's up with that?
Weird.
Did somebody take it off? Trying to scrape everything, scrap everything, get rid of everything?
I thought the video was in that tweet you had.
It was. I clicked the link. No, it's not the video. It was a screenshot. I clicked the link and it is it's gone. But they're saying that he spoke. And this is him. I mean, this is clearly him. 216. 216. So this is interesting. He looks like literally like the way we're watching, seeing his videos and everything. He's a frat boy. What do you think?
Yeah.
A privileged
so it
frat
looks
boy.
like the link to that video, that was the 119th Gilman School Founders Day ceremony, and it was privated, so it sounds like the school privated it, probably, because they're probably all like in lockdown mode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They like look, this is what happens. I'm clicking on it. I'm clicking on it right here, right? So of course the school is like, boom. This is why it's important to get this information out before the public gets a hold of it, because these people are now trying to cover his footstep or cover their tracks and getting rid of things and privatizing things. This happens all the time. Social media accounts. Matter of fact, every time a suspect gets identified and we're doing deep dives, in the middle of the deep dives, by going on accounts, you click on a link and their accounts are gone. Poof. Gone. Any other available information?
Yeah, here's his LinkedIn. Let me send you these LinkedIn screenshots.
All right, so one of his classmates speaks out. One of his classmates speaks, and this is according to a classmate. This is coming from classmate of person of interest and CEO speaks out. A high school classmate of Luigi, who has been identified as a person of interest in the killing of Unitedhealthcare CEO Brian Thompson, tells Fox News Digital that he seemed like a smart kid who was always doing the right thing. He always had a smile on his face and never really got the vibes of being socially awkward. So that's why I'm really surprised, the classmate said. I graduated in 2015. He graduated in 2016. It's crazy how 9 years later, how people can change. So shocked classmates, probably coming out of the woodwork now.
Yeah.
Mr. Luigi. Shocked classmates of Mr. Luigi. Let me see if I can find more classmates. This has always happens whenever the killer gets identified. They start doing deep dives into him and saying that, oh, he changed. He's not the same person as I used to know. And all that stuff. Techie says, why are you trying to expose the identity of Hero? The bell has been rung. You are a British colony sympathizer. Well, appreciate the $5 super chat. Techie says, why are you trying to expose the identity of a hero? Hero? The bell has been rung and you are a British colony sympathizer. What's your take on that, Magnolia? That's interesting. We value everyone's opinions on the chat, by the way. Bring your opinions.
Yeah, I don't even begin to know what that means.
Appreciate that. Keep them coming. Keep your opinions coming. We are a channel where people can come with your opinions, because during the course of trying to track down this subject, there was sympathizers in our chat that would be like, leave him alone, stop snitching, stop, you know what I mean, things like that, like people like encouraging him to run and get away, or he did the right thing. So, I mean, if you're for this, then cool, whatever. You're for white privileged guy that goes around and shoots a healthcare guy, so be it. That's you. We don't support this behavior whatsoever.
What's interesting, I actually came across a comment a minute ago on Twitter. Brian Thompson was also a valedictorian.
Oh, was he?
Apparently. Yeah, so it's very strange, because he is, Brian Thompson and this kid, this 26-year-old, seem like they have things in common, which is bizarre.
Oh, I'm glad he's caught. Somebody said JLR is excited he got caught. Absolutely, I'm glad he got caught. Absolutely, this guy's off the streets. Absolutely, I'm glad he got caught. For sure. Now, what they said was he's facing gun charges in Blair County. So he got caught with a weapon. So what they'll do for now is they will he's facing gun charges. So he's going to go through the court process in Blair County. During that, I'm sure they're going to have a no bond, basically a fugitive from justice or whatever from New York, whatever, a suspect, right? And put a detainer on him. And then we go into the extraditional process to New York. Whether he waives extradition or not, that's a whole other story. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they wait a while and then they come to their senses and do it. Sometimes they try to carry it out all the way until they're ordered to be sent. Because at the end of the day, he's going back to New York. Unless, and question was asked at the press conference by a reporter. You see other type of charges, maybe federal charges? And he said that's up to Alvin Bragg's office. Alvin Bragg. Now, Alvin Bragg could elevate this and just have the feds take over this case and have some sort of Fed case on this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he clearly could have some sort of, I don't know what he did. I mean, terrorism? I don't know what you can get him on a federal case that would trump state murder charges. We have another comment. Techie says, so because he has white privilege is how you're justifying this? So it's entirely based on race? He murdered a white privileged guy. That's contradicting. No, it's not contradicting at all. He might have white privilege. He might not. The other guy might have white privilege. He might not. I don't know. We're just pointing out that this guy is very educated and went to school at $40,000 a year prep school. Seems like he's all into that tech stuff. I call it privileged. I call it he had silver spoon in his mouth all of his life. Seems like he has an affluent lifestyle. I don't know if that's not privileged. I don't know. What do you think, Magnolia, about that statement? How is that contradicting? Can one white privileged guy do another white privileged guy something wrong? Yeah, absolutely. So I don't understand how that's contradicting. But I'm not saying he has white privilege. I'm just saying it seems like to me he has privilege.
No, I think what they're saying is that it doesn't make sense that he would kill someone that's just like him. I think that's what they mean.
Well, I mean, people kill for numerous reasons. Anybody. I mean, I don't know what this guy's thinking. Why specifically the healthcare guy? I don't know. Why him? Where we already said the system is designed for him to be replaced. So what is the point of taking out this guy when this guy's going to be replaced probably next week? It's business. It's not going to change policy. The only thing it's going to change is these billionaire CEOs of companies will probably have more bodyguards and watch their back more.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the policy. They're not going to change it and say healthcare for all and we're going to lower our rates and prescription rates because of what happened to Brian Thompson. And everyone's going to be insured because we don't want to have another Brian Thompson episode. No. It's business as usual. They're not going to change anything. The only thing they're going to change is have whoever the next person is have some bodyguards with him at all times when he's walking around the city. You think or not?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are just kind of baffled right now because
thank you for the comment, Techie. Thank you. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. People fill us in. What are we working at? What are we working with here? So Techie says again, okay, so when the government refuses to address these issues and our fellow citizens are dying by the thousand, what else are we to do? You want to respond to that, Magnolia? So basically saying...
I think a lot of people, what a lot of people feel is that while it's true that shooting a single CEO is not going to change the system overnight by any means, but what it does do is it brings awareness to the public sentiment against insurance companies and against these things that a lot of people feel are injustices, because you have this man, Brian Thompson, who's a millionaire. He's making millions and millions of dollars a year. His company is operating like a monopoly. They're under investigation and all these things are happening. And the public is really fed up with insurance in this country, the way things are done. A lot of people have a lot of grievances because their claims are being denied automatically nowadays, it seems like. And so basically people are saying that by him doing this, it brings all of that to light, and it brings it out into the forefront, and which I think it's done. I see
agree.
that. I think this past week, this conversation has been top of everyone's mind for this whole past week. I mean, we had a look-alike contest where they're wearing the signs with the words that he wrote on the bullets. And so it's bringing this conversation into the forefront. And so that is an impact of what he did here. So some people think that this was, an act of protest, and it's a way to bring awareness, bring the situation to light, get more people talking about the way these insurance companies are operating in the country, things like that. So that's what people are saying.
I don't want to play.
People that support this person. I mean, it's fair to say there are a lot of people who support what happened here.
I don't want to play politics, right? Don't want to play politics, but it seems like Unitedhealthcare stock went skyrocketing, and just the escalation of profit around the time of Obamacare. And that's a lot of people putting charts and maps. Now, I don't know people's take on that if Obamacare has caused this issue. Now, that's a whole political argument. I don't really want to get into that because some people, think Obamacare is good. Other people don't think it's good. But they're saying that this particular stock has just escalated from Obamacare on to a whole stratosphere.
Yes. Yes. So Obamacare, one thing that Obamacare did is it does seem like it basically made these companies even more money and more powerful, because it was basically like mandating certain coverages. Remember in the very beginning where it was like individuals had to get insurance even if they didn't want insurance, and they had to pay a fine if they did, you had to pay there was like a fine or something you had to pay on your taxes if you chose not to get insurance. So a lot of the stuff and a lot of the programs that were stood up under Obamacare really just fed directly back into the healthcare industry, into these insurance companies, because Unitedhealthcare, we talked about this the other day, they have that Medicare Advantage program that's, it's a government, Medicare is a government thing, but it's administered and it's handled by these large corporations. So it's all connected. All of it's connected, and a lot of people are just completely fed up with the insurance. I think it's fair to say most people in this country are fed up with the insurance company, and the reasons for that vary quite a bit, but I feel like probably everyone feels this way.
But Magnolia, you got a guy, ties to Hawaii, San Francisco, and Maryland.
Yeah.
Why him? Why Brian Thompson? Why, how would he know? How would this guy know that Brian Thompson's going to be in New York City at this particular date? And why would he travel, it seems like, because he's not from New York City, why would he travel specifically to New York to do this to Brian Thompson? There has to be definitely levels of planning here and research, extended research to, something got this, and I'm using this is the AI photo, by the way. We're going to change it over time. Now that...
I actually did change it. Let me send it.
Oh, you did?
To you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magnolia. So let me get that. And then
I put the McDonald's picture on there.
you put the McDonald's picture on there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this a minute. So we're gonna change this because but I still think the AI was pretty close. I mean, the AI was pretty close on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we go. All right. So how in the world does this guy? How in the world this guy, have this guy on his radar, and why Unitedhealthcare? There has to be some sort of him doing research on this, or Unitedhealthcare to do this, or does he feel like he has to take one for the team of everyone, the consensus of how everyone feels about the healthcare industry? And he felt like he could be iconic in a Unabomber type way. The Unabomber doing the justification why he did the bombings and whatnot. Feels like he'd be championed and for doing this that no one else would dare to do.
Yeah, and one of the things I came across earlier in the, I think it was in a Fox News article that I saved. It's interesting that he would choose this person specifically, Brian Thompson. So they had a former NYPD inspector, Paul Morrow, on Fox News, and he said that one of the biggest questions about this is how the shooter knew where Brian Thompson would be that morning. And he said, how did he know that Mr. Thompson would walk down that block at that time? He acquires him from across the street. It's like 60 to 70 feet in dark conditions. He doesn't hesitate, makes him out, walks right out through traffic, walks around behind him, and does what he does. How could he have known? The access is the thing that everybody is really wondering. Yeah, how did he get that access to Brian Thompson to know exactly where he would be and when?
Somebody said in the prior theory, the prior hacks. The hacks of Unitedhealthcare, somehow getting into their system and understanding things maybe and just monitoring their movements.
Yeah.
Or what's going on. We got a couple other comments, Magnolia, if you don't mind reading them.
Yeah, let me see.
And we appreciate different people's opinions and perspectives on this for sure. I'm just at a loss. It just doesn't. We've always said from the beginning, it just really doesn't make sense here. And we had so many theories, and as we eliminate theories and come up with new theories and things like that, we are where we're at today, and we still don't know, unless he's going to confess. I mean, they're going to definitely interrogate this guy, and I have a feeling this guy will talk. He could not talk. Sometimes they don't talk. Sometimes suspects don't say nothing and lawyer up. But I think it's really critical for law enforcement to get an understanding is to get a statement out of this guy, at least why you did this, how you did it. What's up, instead of making them do all the work. But he might stay quiet too. I don't know. See, we don't know what happened at the McDonald's. Apparently people are saying now in the chat that he made his way outside in the parking lot and something happened out in the parking lot between Altoona police and the suspect.
Yeah. So Techie also said 33% of all Medicaid is with Unitedhealthcare. The people they hurt most are those they need the most while taking our tax dollars.
Some other people have also said, thank you for the comment, some people have also said that 70 or 80% of people, they reject 70 or 80% of people's claims.
Yes.
Like they put some crazy number up there.
Mm-hmm.
But my take is this, like if you're denied health care, again, go to the hospital. If you're going to the doctor and you get denied or anything, like, man, go into the hospital. They'll take care of you. Go in the hospital with your pains.
And then they'll send you a bill.
Well, they'll send you a bill, but I mean, you're not going to get denied health care at the hospital.
So Curiosity Drive also posted that when I was talking about the motive behind this being as a way to kind of bring these issues to the forefront, Curiosity Drive said it already did that. The issue has a spotlight on it. And even Blue Cross went and reverted their horrific policy on day 2. So yes, it changed things. And that's in reference to, there were media reports out that Blue Cross Blue Shield was planning to change their policies so that they would not necessarily cover anesthesia if it went past a certain amount of time. And so right away that came out, and then the next day they changed that policy because when this shooting happened and people started talking about Unitedhealthcare, that particular policy that Blue Cross Blue Shield was planning on implementing all of a sudden got put on blast. And so everyone was made aware that this is what they were plotting, and they had to quickly change course the very next day. So, there's a lot of things here that is being brought to light that people are talking about, and now people are aware of a lot of these scams, a lot of the insider trading. We didn't know any of this stuff a week ago. And so that's what people are pointing to he could have been motivated to basically make a stand, make a statement, force people to talk about the situation, and hopefully bring about change. So that seems to be what his motive is, and he maybe wants to be famous for this. So it's just, I understand all of that, but it's just very interesting that you look at this guy and he seems to be very much like the person he shot. They're both valedictorians, both seem to be wealthy, quote unquote privileged, all those things. So it's just interesting that this is the person who would do such a thing. Because we said from the beginning, it looks like a protest killing.
Erica Fox said, in the end, it was the craving for McDonald's breakfast that got him. Can't blame him. Awesome job, Jailer Magnolia. Well, that will be his last freedom meal, McDonald's. Imagine that being the last meal you get on the streets is a McDonald's. Breakfast. Those McGriddles are pretty good. I like the McGriddles at McDonald's. I like the McGriddles. I think the McGriddles are pretty tasty, with the M engraved in it. He has a LinkedIn bio, by the way, and it identifies as Honolulu. Honolulu. So his LinkedIn says Honolulu. And Honolulu. Any TrueCar? TrueCar INC? What's up with TrueCar? What is TrueCar?
He's the data tech at TrueCar. That's his job.
So TrueCar is based in Santa Monica, California, 4 years, 2 months.
Data engineer.
Huh. Data engineer. And then here's some of his qualifications. University of Pennsylvania, Masters of Science in Engineering, Computer and Information Science, 219 to 220. University of Pennsylvania, Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Computer and Information Science, 216, 220, the Gilman School. So, is it possible, Magnolia, that he was a stock owner of Unitedhealthcare and just invest in some stocks? Just because he liked investing in stocks, and then maybe that's how he got wind of what was going on. And he just, some people, like, just because they despise something doesn't mean they won't invest in something. Possible?
I suppose.
Why New York City? Why at Thompson's investor meeting? Makes me wonder why. Like, why there? Why didn't Mr. Luigi go to Thompson's house in Minnesota?
Well, also, why Brian Thompson? Why not Andrew Whitty?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because Whitty is the higher one. He's higher up.
Right.
Why not? That's what, exactly, Magnolia. Why not? Like, why CEO of insurance? CEO of insurance. Insurance claims got denied or whatever. Like, this guy looks physically fit. I don't think it was like a personal thing that he's being denied health care, you think? Like, he looks pretty fit to me.
Mm-hmm.
So he's taking it for just the belief for everyone else. It looks like he's like doing a Robin Hood type of act here, right? A moral act for the good of mankind. Maybe? I mean, he's physically fit. I don't see any pre-existing health conditions with this guy. Curiosity Drive says, I have a common friend with him on Facebook, and I can see why they'd be friends. Extremely smart, philosophical, and rebellious. It's clear motive. Techie says, and remember, everyone, each citizen has the right to jury nullification. It is our balance of power. If a law is corrupt, vote not guilty. Same for this. Comments keep coming, Magnolia.
Uh-huh.
But, this guy here, I'd be curious to know a little bit about the manifesto, right? This so-called manifesto that he has. It's probably going to have similarities between him and Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski, old Ted, who died recently, by the way.
Yeah.
The healthcare industry. I mean, other than that, we're at this point, we're just talking a little bit before we close it off. But Magnolia, like, what happens at this point going forward? Will there be copycats? Did this guy set off a possible chain reaction revolution where other people will do the same thing he did? Is this just a rare occurrence, or is this the beginning of something else? Because that'll affect all Americans in general. Some people say,
yeah,
again,
I mean, I get it. I understand the motive here, or what is the what appears to be the motive here. But again, at the same time, you know, he walked up to this guy and shot him in cold blood at point blank range. You have to be a psychopath to be able to do something like that.
Well, no, Magnolia, you have to be a psychopath, but it's also a coward because you don't look at the person in their eyes. You're shooting them with their back.
He shot him in the back.
But that's a coward doing. I mean, to me, it's like you. Why didn't you just shoot him in the face? And we don't support violence whatsoever.
You know, I get his motive, or what is allegedly his motive. I'm not going to say that's the motive. I'm going to say allegedly, because I think there may be still more to this that we just don't know yet. But allegedly his motive, I understand, is a stand. He's taking a stand on this topic. But yeah, I mean, to be able to do this, and also as calm as he did it too, you know, it's very cold-blooded. He was just calm. He walked right up to him. He pulled out the gun. He had to manually keep loading it. He kept firing, and then he just walked away like it was nothing. Like it was just nothing. So that's cold. That's cold-blooded. And it's just, I understand that some people are happy about this, or they think that this guy deserved it, or whatever it is. But, you know, I just don't like this. I don't like this vigilante stuff. I don't like the fact that it's so cold-blooded. This guy is a father. He has 2 kids. His kids didn't deserve this. Did his kids deserve this?
So the breaking 9. Interesting, Magnolia. Thank you. Breaking 911 says they got something where quotes in his manifesto, and in his manifesto it's saying right here, quotes from his manifesto said he acted alone and was self-funded. These parasites had it coming. I do apologize for the strife and trauma, but it had to be done. Interesting. What do you think of that, Maggie?
Quotes from the manifesto say he acted alone and was self-funded. Well, yeah, I mean,
he said these parasites had it coming.
Yeah.
We got another comment from D-Dop, Magnolia, if you don't mind reading it.
D-Dop says his Twitter banner shows an X-ray of adult spinal deformity. He probably had a claim denied, which led to this. How are you ignoring this? Also, look at his books. Many of them are about back pain.
Oh, well, there we go. Sleuthing. Thank you. We'll look into that. Back pain. So he had back issues, maybe claim denied, and that's what triggered him. That was the final straw. What do you think, Magnolia? Books about back pain? Back issues? Could that be his issues?
I didn't notice the books, but here's the picture they're talking about. I'll send it to you.
Let's see.
It's the middle photo on his Twitter cover photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's an X-ray.
It's an X-ray. So he posts his own X-ray. So what's that, like lower by the buttocks? Where is that? The curve? What's going on here, Magnolia?
It's some type of lumbar, and it looks like there's the comment, let me go back to the comment.
All banned. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for your report, JLR Magnolia. Just stop by to support your channel. Thank you.
Yeah, the DDOP said that it's called adult spinal deformity. I don't know how we know that, but so that's an X-ray that's in his Twitter bio.
Good to know. That could be something. I do think there could be something out of that, Magnolia, possibly.
Yeah, it's the lower lumbar. So Bandana Rana, that's a fun name, says lumbar pins, spinal stabilizer. Looks like he had a fractured lumbar. That cone said, "Hello, that cone." Good to see you.
That cone. So I continue to just scroll on Twitter to see updates, because what happens is over time, this is how it works, folks. Once the suspect gets identified, all the online sleuths and everybody's just scouring around the net trying to find anything and everything on that and just post it on Twitter. Just say, hey, I learned this about the suspect. I learned this. So, we're seeing photos. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing here. Let's see. Somebody said here, this is a comment. What do you think about this? Picking out a jury for the Luigi trial is going to be so hard because the questions to avoid bias are going to be like, have you ever had a claim denied by insurance? Have you ever decided not to seek medical care due to insurance? Has a loved one ever been negatively affected due to insurance? And every single person is going to say yes. They do have a point. There's probably someone out there that someone knows out there close to them that has been denied a claim or has a gripe against the insurance company. I mean, that is interesting. Yeah. That is interesting, though, finding a jury there. Will there be enough for a jury to be sympathetic, to this guy and find this guy not guilty even though he did this act? I don't think so. But who knows? I mean, I don't know where this is heading. Might not even go to trial. Who knows? I mean, we're going really, really, really far ahead at this time.
Well, it's a subject matter that affects pretty much everyone. I mean, healthcare affects every single human. So there will be, I can see that point with the jury. It's probably going to be difficult to navigate that for sure. Just because this is something that does affect everybody. And some people it affects more than others.
Yeah. So my battery's running out. I'm at 5% battery. So we pretty much, I was trying to make sure I don't miss anything. But we'll do a charge up. We'll continue to find things out about this guy, and then we'll continue to share with everybody. Magnolia, appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. JLR investigates. Magnolia investigates. Hit that like, notification button. Thank you, everyone. If I didn't read some people's comments, I apologize. A lot are going through. I'm searching the side and right and the left. Why this happened, how this happened. We'll continue to do a deep dive. We'll continue to look into this Luigi guy and keep the conversation going in a bit as we learn more. Thanks for watching this particular segment. Breaking news: suspect's been arrested. Suspect's been identified. Why did this crime happen? All right, folks. We'll talk soon. Thanks for watching. JLR Investigates. Everyone out there, be safe. Have a good day.